Jean Menon is a visiting senior fellow at the ISEAS Yusof Ishak Institute, and he's a former lead economist at the Asian Development Bank. He's joining us now from Singapore. So thank you very much indeed for being with us. Trump, during his campaign, had been threatening tariffs of up to about 60% on China. He's going with 10%. They're going to happen in about a week's time. How is China interpreting the messaging behind these tariffs?
Well, I can't speak for China, but I think they must be kind of relieved that it's only 10%, which is a lot better than 60%. But any increase in tariffs is not a good thing for China. Indeed, it's not a good thing for the US. And I think your earlier correspondent said that China feels that this is only going to increase inflation in the US. Is actually right. Tariffs have never worked to protect employment in the home country. It's basically a very badly designed tax on consumers and on producers, because a lot of inputs to exports are imported and will cost a lot more. So it'll be a tax on exports as well. But China, I think, will want to see what is to come next. This is unfortunately unlikely to be the end of the story. So I think they might be glad it's not 60%. But they are fearful of what is coming next.
If I understand it correctly, then in order for any tariffs to be effective, they essentially have to be targeted at products which are solely and entirely made within a particular country. But if I do understand it, the majority, or certainly a significant amount of goods that are made in China also include parts that are made from other countries as well. So is it fair to say that this is not just a tariff that's going to affect China? This is a tariff that could actually have a much wider impact.
Exactly, that's right. So we live in a world now of global supply chains, where every component is usually produced in a different part of the world and brought together, usually in China, in the manufacturing of electronics and the like. So the value addition from China in manufacturing on average is only about 1/3 for so-called made-in-China goods. But this actually makes it a lot more expensive to do things in China, because the tariff is applied on 100% of the value, but only 1/3 of it is actually from China. And so removing that 1/3 removes a huge amount of the tariff on the final product. So what this means is that the effective tariff is about 3 times the actual tariff. And what you just said, which is other countries will also be affected, because everyone's involved now, or many countries are involved now in the production of these goods, not just China.
One would imagine that China is going to feel obliged to take some sort of action, some sort of respond to this. Is it likely to respond economically, or is it going to be a more political pushback that we'll see?
I think, when tariffs are raised for no particular reason or for illegitimate reasons, non-WTO consistent reasons, then countries will feel they need to respond, because they see this as an unprovoked attack on their sovereignty. So even though the best thing economically to do is not to retaliate, because tariffs hurt you more than anyone else, it's almost certain that that temptation to respond will be overwhelming. And the concern, of course, is that it'll lead to a domino-type tit-for-tat that will escalate and can get out of control very quickly. This is the fear at the moment.
Very interesting to get your thoughts on this. Jean Menon, we appreciate it, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you.